How is it going, folks? Welcome back to Part to Prem. Today is the conclusion of season number 10. On the agenda, maybe securing top half in the championship, winning our last game of the season. After that, we're going to look at all the end of season rewards, awards, all that jazz. And then once that's all done, I thought, given the fact we're 10 years in the future, we'd look through some of the global award winners, who's been winning Ballon d'Ors, who are the best young players in the world. So yeah, if that's your kind of jam, for the people who've been asking for it, today's your lucky day. We're going to do all that and more right after the intro. So like I already mentioned, today we do have a chance, maybe, potentially, probably not, to make it into the top half of the championship, because with one game left of the season, we are in 15th, we are sat on 57 points, and just a few places above us are Cardiff City in 11th on 60 points. They've been in some atrocious form. Our final game of the season as well is against MK Dons. MK Dons are not a good team, but our away form is absolutely awful this year. In fact, if we just look at things here, our home form, you can see, has been actually rather good. 23 games played, 42 points. We've won more than half of our home games, which is kind of to be expected. As for the away form, it's not good. We've won 2 away games all year. We've won 2 away games. That is so bad. So naturally, the game against MK Dons today is not necessarily a gimme, even though they are bottom of the league and have won 3 games all season. Now, speaking of recent form, of course, at the end of last episode, we had the youth intake. We talked about the games to end March. They were against Cardiff and Crystal Palace. Since then, 5 games played in the league, 2-1 win against Luton. Great result there. Ipswich Town beat us 4-1. Little bit of an embarrassing one, this one, but from a media prediction of 13th, Ipswich are up in 3rd, so they are a good team, as we experienced firsthand. Good news though, in our 3 most recent games we have been unbeaten, 2 draws, and perhaps the more emphatic result, this one, against Bristol City, who at the beginning of this save game were one of our affiliates. In this match here, we beat them 4-0. Jay Haddo got man of the match with a goal and an assist. Adam also got an assist from left back, and perhaps more importantly, some good news here. Adam has signed a new deal. It is a little bit of a pay rise, but it is a long-term deal, a 3-year extension if we ever get promoted to the Premier League, and crucially, there is no longer a release clause in this man's contract, and given how he's developed already in his brief stint here at the club, that feels like really big news. Now, like I said, last 2 games we have drawn. Firstly against Derby, disappointing result this one, but Derby have actually had a really good end to the season, so maybe not the worst result in the world. And most recently, 2-2 against Blackpool. What do you say about this game? We fought back from behind twice. You might notice that Gallagher was playing at centre defensive mid here. Have had a little bit of an issue to deal with over the last month. Kennedy Abubakari, he fractured his ribs. And you might be sat there thinking, fractured ribs, why does that ring a bell? I'll tell you why it rings a bell. Because Percy Donald, our other defensive mid, also broke his ribs in the same period of time. We were without our 2 starting centre mids for this run to end the season. And with that in mind, I think our form was pretty blooming good. Just in some more injury news, Jordan Gabriel has got injured again for 3 to 5 months. I'll tell you what, it's a good job I've given him a 1-year deal, isn't it? He has now missed 10 months of football since signing for us. I mean, that is unfortunate. As much as you can say, I knew he was going to be a bad signing, you can't really anticipate a player to get injured for more than half the year. So what that does mean when it comes to team news is that Jay Haddo is going to come back into the side. Donald has passed a fitness test but can only play 45 minutes, so he's going to be on the bench. It does mean that Pani is going to play a defensive midfielder, and look at this, he's so close to being accomplished. It could happen today on the final day of the season. In the final third, Abu Kamara has picked up a little injury. As a result of that, Burstow is going to start as our advance forward. Was a temptation to play Brandon Charles in there, but when I've played him recently, he's not been very good. Anyway, that is you all caught up. Can we get another away win? Can we get our 3rd away win of the season? We got the previous 2, if I'm not mistaken, in live episodes. So, yeah, if we could do it again here, that would be nice. And like I already mentioned, there is a very small chance that we could actually climb up a few league positions with a good win here. In fact, goal difference could play a factor, so we probably really want to score as many as we can here. Eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed, Jack, you're away from home. We've not done an away day. We did MK Dons last year. It was a great away day, but not worth doing twice. We've seen the cinema, we've seen the Nando's, we've seen the KFC, we've seen it all. Right, can we get an early goal to settle the nerves? This is a game that we should be winning. Of course, earlier on in the year, we did have to come back from behind against MK Dons, and well, we're going to see what Adam can do here as he brings the ball forward. Unfortunately, on that occasion, he has been dispossessed, but I'll tell you what, he's going to battle for the ball back. Burstow Davies, little give and go. That is a beautiful goal, if I might say so myself. It all came from Adam being a little beaver on this near side. He gave away the ball, but he worked hard to get it back. He's built his dam. They're not going anywhere. And from there, Burstow and Davies playing off one another. Great movement, great passing, great goal, 1-0. 25 minutes played here. We have had 75% of possession. And unlike other games where we've had a lot of the ball, MK Dons have done nothing so far. I'm saying that with half an hour played, that could still change. Or, well, maybe it could change in our favour. Maybe we could get another goal here. Ball back post. Williams is there. And, I mean, we brought him in for his jumping reach. He's gone and done it again. It's goal number 13 of the season for the Jamaican forward. And, well, the ball by Davis was superb. He's now got a goal and an assist in this game. Free kick, wide area, whipped in. And Davis, I mean, the ball was great. The Williams header across goal was inch perfect too. If results stay as they are right now, we would be in 12th place. That would be a top half finish in a league of 24 players or teams, just in case you can't do the math. If we get another goal here, I'll tell you what, we are going to get another goal here. Tejera's got it. Is he doing a chicken dance? I think he was being a chicken. Doesn't matter, it's offside, I think. Is it offside? What's happened? Why has it been disallowed? It was offside. I should have spotted that. I mean, to be fair, I'm not even sure maybe he was offside. I don't know what's happened there. That was a weird highlight. I mean, good news. We're on the attack again. We're not really showing any mercy to MK Dons here, are we? We're being mean. Oh, my word. Adam, calm down, son. He's hit that on his weaker foot first time on the volley. I respect the kind of bravery to do it, I suppose, if nothing else. Okay, half-time here. 2 goals to the good. We are pretty much in complete control. If we're just looking at the latest around the league table, with results as they are, Derby County are winning, we are winning. Of course, we were promoted together last year. Right now, we could both find ourselves in the top half of the table. There is still another 45 minutes of football to be played, and we don't actually control it all with our own fate. All we can do here is try and score as many goals as we can, have some fun here, and you know what? I'm going to make a change. Panny, this might be the last time we see Panny in Guernsey colours. I hope you savoured the moment. He's going to come off. We're going to bring back in Donald. And do I want to make any other changes? You know what? I don't think I want to make any other changes just yet. Is there a chance going on here? Or is this the fake highlight because I didn't pause the game to make changes? Beckford to Panny. Could this be Panny's last moment? It's played forward. Haddo's there. Squares it. I mean, the pressure is relentless from us right now. We're not being kind to MK Dons. It has been a great performance by our front three. Tejera, as is always the case, on a really good rating too. I feel like because of the amount of headers he wins as our central defensive midfielder, he's just guaranteed a good rating. I think he has maybe the 2nd or 3rd highest average rating in the league. It is a little bit silly, but we love him for it. 20 minutes left here. I'm going to get in some fresh legs. Mackenzie, I was going to bring in for Adam. Adam's having too good of a game. Let's bring in Hassana. Beckford is going to go off as well. Of course, this could be Beckford's last ever game, given the fact that there's no guarantees Celtic will loan him back to us. And elsewhere, Burstow has played great, but not amazing. So you know what? Brandon Charles, on you come, my friend. I hope you guys today have savoured the moments of our players on the pitch. There's a few players here that I do feel like probably won't be with us next season as we look to establish ourselves as a comfortable championship team. Rigby in possession. He is going to launch it long over the top for Brandon Charles. He's not abiding by the roll it out instruction. He's not got the memo. He wants to get the ball forward. He wants a 3rd goal and... well, can you really blame him? Ball forward here. Tejera wins the header. Abubakari's going to head it on its way. Williams takes it down. Already 1 goal to his name. Fred through Brandon Charles. Wide area. Difficult angle, but not too difficult for that man. It's his 6th goal of the season. Brandon Charles scored that 2nd goal in the player final last year. He might well have got another last goal of the season here. I have no idea if we've done enough to get a top half finish, but that finish there is very, very impressive from a difficult angle. With it, we have a 3-goal lead. With it, we are going to get another away win this season. What's happening around the grounds? I didn't get a chance to catch it there. We might need more goals. Goal difference might be the fact to keep attacking, lads. Adam, back to Thomas. Can we get the ball into a dangerous area here? Adam caught in possession a little bit. Not really what you want to see from him. And now McGrath with it for them. He's going to play it forward. Kensdale in behind. Could they get one back? Yes. It is going to be awkward now, isn't it, if we miss out on a top half finish on goal difference because of this goal here. I hope it's not going to be the case. I'm nervously looking at the league table. It says we're in 12th. I don't know if that's a truth or a lie. Late goals could still change it. We might still need another goal here. Is there a late highlight? With 3 minutes of added time, there's 30 seconds left. Adam, the left back. What are you going to do for me, my German amigo? I don't know the name or the word for friend in German. Is it mon frère? No, that's French. Look. He's my little German mate. He's put the ball in the box there. Williams has got another goal, and it's 4-1. Sorry, Brandon Charles, you're not getting the last goal this season. Sorry, MK Dons. And, well, the few fans who have turned up for the match, fair play to them. I mean, they don't get great support anyway, but they're They're relegated. They've won 3 games all the year. They're not winning a 4th here. Going to tell the players I'm happy. I mean, that was a really, really good result to end the season. A convincing win in complete control. Williams was absolutely mad there. I think he did get a 10.0 rating. And with that result, we actually ended up finishing 12th, which is massive. We leapt over Derby County and Blackpool on the final day of the season. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite catch Cardiff City, but you know what? Going into this season, I said if we avoid a relegation battle, I'd be happy. Top half feels pretty blooming good. Williams did get a 10.0 rating there. For a man who is just a physical merchant, I mean, he's done pretty good this year, hasn't he? He might only have 5 finishing, does not matter. He can still score goals. Just realised as well, he has actually ended up as our top goal scorer for the season on 14. I mean, he is the reincarnation of Stephen Gold, who was a regen. So can he really be the reincarnate? He's the next coming of Stephen Gold. The crown, I feel like, has been passed on today to Williams. And for those of you sat there thinking, who is Stephen Gold? Who is this person he keeps mentioning? Go watch last year's Park to Prem. It will all make sense. Well, there we have it. Season in the books. First season in the Championship. 12th place. 15 wins. 15 draws. 16 losses. That feels like a lot of draws. I mean, actually, looking across the whole league, the amount of draws is actually mad. I'm going to do some spamming of continue. We're going to get to the end of season awards. Then I want to talk about the team, plans for next season, areas where I feel like we need to improve. And off the back of all of that, we're going to have a look at the world of football and how it's looking in the year 2032. Okay, end of season review time. I do love this screen. I love this feature in Football Manager. I feel like I say this every season when we get to this bit. I just think it's neat to have a nice summary. I almost wish, instead of doing stuff like the manager timeline this year in Football Manager, they just fleshed out this area a little bit more. I feel like it'd be cool if there was reveals for the award winners at your team. Make it feel a bit more like an event. Perhaps this is an event in itself, though, and unsurprisingly, I think, Luis Tejera has picked up signing of the season. Apparently only a B. That feels very harsh. We signed this man for £140,000. He's got a 7.29 rating, still got concerns over his injury proneness, but have you seen his value? Have you seen his value? If a team came in and bid £4 million, I probably would have to give it some consideration. Of course, we signed him with that release clause. We negotiated out of his contract. He is definitely one of our best players here. And in fact, when you look at the average ratings, he's right up there in the league as well. But sadly, if I just find this screen here, the board budgets have been set for this year. I've got a transfer budget of 900k. The wage budget has moved to £79,000. And I say moved very generously. It's increased by £250. So if we want to get more wage budget, if we want to have a bit more transfer budget, we are going to have to move on players. And if I just sort players by value, with the exception of the 2 players we've got in on loan, Tejera might be the golden goose. He might be the man who we need to just cash in on when the moment's right, if the right bid comes in. Is it the time to sell him now? I don't necessarily think it is. He's got 3 years left on his current deal. That was a very long tangent to say. Tejera wins signing of the year. Elsewhere, Williams, who is our top goal scorer. Just as a reminder, we signed this man for absolutely diddly squat. 7 assists, 13 goals, 7.2 rating. We definitely lacked an out-and-out goal scorer this year, but as far as what I expected from this man versus what he delivered, he really did exceed my expectations. I think it can't be understated either, the additions in the midfield and the improvement that they offered us. Brian Davis, or Brian, we should probably start calling him Brian, in on loan from Man City. I would love to loan him for another year. Man City are very lukewarm on that at the moment. If we can't loan him back, that's going to be a big gap in the team that needs to be filled. And another bloke that we need to give some credit to is Percy Donald. The centre mid area was looking light going into the season. We picked him up on a free transfer. Of course, when we first discovered him, he wanted £9,500 a week. Suddenly, to sign him on £4,000 a week does feel like an absolute bargain. He's been a very important part of our team, as has Aboubakari. I know Aboubakari's actual rating isn't necessarily the best, but he's been an ever-present part of our team. He has developed a lot as well, of course. Picked him up for £325,000, and just looking at the value alone, he is one of the more valuable players in the first team now. In terms of transfers out, of course, we really just got rid of a lot of fringe players, and you can see with their move to their clubs, none of them really played a lot of football, which I think is a pretty good indicator we were right to relieve ourselves of them. Of course, Wayne Beckford, the one exception really. Still, I feel like this deal is one of the best deals we've done so far in this Park to Prem. 950k, 50% profit of any future sale, and we got him loaned back. I have looked into the opportunity to maybe loan him back for next season. At the moment, that doesn't seem possible, so there might be a little bit of a gap in the defence to fill there. End of season results, I'm pleased to report the board have actually given me an A+ for something. I don't think we've ever got that before. And in terms of the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, well, FA Cup, we had that dramatic game against Tottenham. Kind of lingers in my memory as a traumatic experience. And the Carabao Cup, we don't remember it. It was the second game of the season. We lost 1-0. It was over before it began. Biggest win this year was that 5-0 win over Derby County. You guys were here for that. And the goal of the season was Abu Kamara against Fulham. Why do I not remember this goal? I do wish there was a button that I could just hit that says, view this goal, but apparently we have to go to this screen first. Apparently it was a volley from outside the box. I'm thinking the reason I don't remember it is because I was sulking about the fact we were 2-0 down at the time. Ball was played forward, Kamara, oh, I do remember this. I mean, it's a great goal, but the goalkeeper's in no man's land. From a financial point of view, of course, things on the up here. We made a lot more money in most areas. The FA Cup run helped a little bit. We got a load of gate receipts from Tottenham, which was really, really nice. But in terms of sponsorship and broadcast revenue, that has jumped up, as has the corporate and hospitality side of things. Top shirt sellers, by the way, Aboubakari, Burstow, Kamara, then the Charles fan club. Scotty Williams, I think his name is the name I'd get on the back of a Guernsey shirt. I'm looking at this team of the year thinking, is there anything I can really disagree with here? And I don't think there is. Of course, Adam came in for the second half of the season, but Mackenzie did lock down the left wing-back position for this year. And when he played it, he really didn't play bad in that spot. Of course, out on the right-hand side, Jay Haddo played a lot more football than I planned on him playing this year. With all the injuries that we had with Gabriel and the injury that he's got again now, Haddo played a ton of games. He started 32 matches. I remember during the last transfer special at the start of this season saying, if Jay Haddo is playing regularly for us in the Championship, we're in trouble. I'd like to issue him an apology. Yeah, the 6.89 rating or 6.86 rating, it's not the best. Not as bad as I feared, so Jay, thank you for your service. That said, a right back probably is on the shopping list this year. Fans player of the season, young player of the season, signing of the season, it's all Luis Teixeira. It's the Luis Teixeira show. I'm uttering the words about daring to sell him, and he's done all of this stuff for us. I mean, he has been absolutely mad this year. Still can't believe that Hibs was selling him for 140k. I feel like that is the bargain of a lifetime. Top goal scorer went to Williams. Davis picked up most assists. Most man of the matches went to Williams as well, and highest average rating, it went to Teixeira. 7.3 rating, absolute madness. Here is the update on the Guernsey overall best 11. I saw people very upset that Brandon Charles wasn't even on the bench, and I can tell you now, he's still not on the bench. Where is Brandon Charles? Have they forgotten about him in the voting for this award? I mean, Harry Kite's still here at centre mid, but apparently Brandon Charles isn't worthy of a spot. That is despite the fact that if we look at things here, he is now considered a club icon. And if you were wondering, Jack, are you a legend yet? I mean, I was a legend before the series began. Let's be real for a moment. But here at Guernsey, I am now officially a legend. Selfishly, I am now hoping that with a new stadium planned, it could be named after me. That would be neat. We did get some newfound social media clout this year, up to 69.9 thousand followers. In terms of the fans, lots of casual and fair-weathered fans emerging out the woodwork. Don't like that. Shout out to the hardcore. So we have got the board expectations for the coming season. Not too much crazy going on here. Interesting to note they've got signed players under the age of 23 for the first team. In some situations, that would be a pain in the butt. I actually don't mind that one because we kind of do that anyway. In terms of other objectives, of course, we are still building a new stadium. New facility work is going to be done in the near future as well. And as for the long-term vision here at the club, for the next 5 years, they just want us to attempt to avoid relegation. We really are ambitious here at Guernsey. I will be talking in more depth about this, I imagine, next episode, next Monday, when we start the transfer season and the transfer special ahead of the new season. In terms of the team, though, this is a team in front of me now that I think could work for us next year. Obviously, there's some gaps in the team. Williams played amazingly. Can we rely on him consistently? Still a little bit of a question mark over that, but I think given how many goals he's scored, he's certainly locked down a spot, at least for next season. That said, between the likes of Burstow, Kamara and Brandon Charles, I do feel like we're lacking a little bit of quality. I would love to get kind of a championship, kind of upper level striker. Obviously, that might be a little bit tricky in our wage budget. Davis, on the other hand, of course, his loan is expiring. Like I said, no guarantees we'll be able to keep him around. If he does go, there is a massive gap to fill in the team. When I look at the midfield, though, between Adam, Donald, Aboubakari and, well, a right wing-back option yet to be named, I'm relatively happy with things. If we can get in a new right wing-back, that would be massive. Besides that, though, I don't think there's a massive overhaul needed there. Maybe a bit more depth in the defensive midfielder position. This year, Pani didn't really do the business. Gallagher didn't do the business either. I mean, yeah, Urfi as well. Lots of question marks there. A few players that might make way. Maybe some new depth in the centre mid, the more I'm thinking about it. Defensively, though, I think Rickaby was fine. Scott Williams was fine. Tejera, I would love to keep around, but it would be very difficult to turn down an offer of 4 million or more, simply because that would open up so many opportunities to reinvest into the squad. When I do look at the current team, we need investment, and that investment has to come from somewhere. And I knew going into the season there was going to be a chance that, you know, key players might have to be sold on, and Tejera's interest, I have to imagine, is going to be fairly high because of how well he's played for us. I mean, in an ideal world, we sell him for a load of money, but with a loan back clause, similar to what we did with Beckford this year. Of course, given the fact that we are already pretty much up against the wage budget, don't expect massive improvement without us having to sell some important players. Brace yourself. So to wrap things up today, we are going to have a look around the world of football, just what's going on over in the Premier League. Chelsea are on course to win the league. That said, Liverpool could still make a very, very late comeback, but Chelsea and Liverpool have been sharing the spoils of the titles for a lot of years lately. Arsenal did manage to win one title. I did notice Man City, who you might have noticed, haven't won the league in a little while. They only sacked Pep Guardiola this year. He's been at the club the entire save game without winning a league title, and that is with this man, Erling Haaland, 31 years old. I mean, he's got 27 goals this year, and they're still only going to finish 5th. I mean, if I was a Man City fan, I'd be disappointed. Over in League One, you might remember Reading had that tycoon takeover. With that, they have won the league fairly convincingly, only losing 5 games all season, although they did draw 19. Birmingham City, the other team going up, and yeah, looking pretty strong there. And in League 2, a little bit of interesting stuff going on here. Obviously, Dagenham were promoted with us, Maidstone were promoted with us, Bromley promoted before us. These are all teams that came up in and around us when we got promoted from the non-leagues. They have all established themselves in this division. On the other side of things, Wrexham. Now, you might remember they had back-to-back relegations in this save game. They made all the way to the Championship, got relegated twice. They could only finish 6th this year. And you might have also spotted Sheffield Wednesday, very big club really, have only managed to finish 16th. They're financially insecure again. Things are not looking good for Sheffield Wednesday fans, I'm afraid to say. Pleasantly surprised when I looked at Ligue 1 earlier. There's still a few games left of their season, but there's been a real variety of winners. Normally in Football Manager, you go into the future and PSG have won it every single year for like a decade. In this save game, they did win it the first 3 years, but since then, Monaco and Lyon have been a little bit of a thorn in their side, and at least right now, with a couple of games left, Monaco are top. Spain is one of those leagues where things very rarely change, I feel like. It has just been Barca and Real Madrid winning the league every single year, although this season, Villarreal find themselves in second, at least with a couple of games left. It's still very, very close in all these leagues, I'm noticing, although Real Madrid have secured the title already. Serie A, by the way, really interesting. I feel like Juventus normally just win it all the time. Not in this universe. They have not won it any season since this simulation began. Atalanta have won it, Napoli have won it. Last couple of years, it's been the 2 Milan clubs sharing it. But yeah, Juve, nowhere to be seen. They've been very, very poor. Of course, worth remembering that I started this save game before Juve got the points deducted and all that stuff came out about them. Last but not least, the Bundesliga. Bayern have won it every single year. Dortmund have finished runner-up the last 4 years. Football is not fair. Bayern are going to win the league again. It's boring. In the Champions League, the final is between Newcastle United and Inter, which is absolutely mad because Newcastle, they finished 5th last year. They only qualified, I believe, because they won the Europa League, and suddenly they're now in the final taking on Inter. They could win it before Man City have won it, but wouldn't be a true fact. Man City have won it twice in this simulation. Liverpool have won it 3 times. Last couple of years, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Chelsea have also run out victors. In the Europa League, Everton have won it most recently. That feels bizarre, doesn't it? No disrespect to Everton fans, but given where we're at right now, I'm sure Everton fans, if you told them in the next 10 years they're going to win a Europa League, they'd bite your hand off for it. Below them, you can see Manchester United winning it on a couple of occasions, Tottenham as well, Napoli, and also Chelsea down here. I guess with English football, it's so competitive for those top 4 spots. The teams who finish 5th to 6th are generally going to be very, very strong for this competition, especially with the format change. Remember, they've changed the format now so that if you finish 3rd in a Champions League group, which used to be the case, you'd go down to the Europa League. There is no longer kind of a demotion if you're not quite the worst team in the Champions League with the massive group format. Some people ask, Jack, what about the Conference League? Well, West Ham are in the final of this year's, and in terms of past winners, Newcastle United won the Conference League. Wait, does the winner of the Conference League get a spot in the Champions League? That can't be right. How are Newcastle United in the final of the Champions League when they finish 5th? Answers on a postcard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe winning the Conference League does get you a Champions League spot. I don't know, send help. Hearts did win it a couple of years ago, but besides that, it's largely English-dominated. Wolves, Leicester, Leeds, all winning the Conference League at different points. I guess given the way that this database is set up, where I've only got the top European leagues loaded, in something like the Conference League, where it tends to be more competitive for teams outside the bigger leagues, you know, the top clubs in, say, Sweden, Denmark, Belgium, they can do well in this competition. I've not got them loaded, so England just run rampant. World Cup. Weirdness. Croatia won it in 2022. The USA won the World Cup in America, so shout out to them. They beat France in the final. And most recently, England beat Germany 2 years ago. Norway, carried by Erling Haaland, finished third. I do appreciate, as I go through this, there's probably people wishing, I wish he'd show that, I wish he'd show this. Ultimately, I can't cover it all in a video like this. And for people wondering, Jack, can I get the save game to look at things? At the end of series, I then share the save games. When I first started doing YouTube, I did used to share the save games. People would basically sim into the future and then just start telling me which regens developed, and it kind of just ruined the save game for me on a personal level. So we don't do that anymore, but if you want to go more in depth, you will be able to whenever I win a couple of Champions Leagues, hopefully. Footballer of the Year, dominated by Erling Haaland. Prior to that, Mo Salah had a very, very good run, and Harry Kane even managed to win it on one occasion. If you look at the goal 50 as well, a little bit more variety here. Mbappe popping up still. Of course, he's only 32. He's still absolutely ridiculous in the game. Good news for us, I suppose, is by the time we make it to the European football, probably won't have to worry about Kylian Mbappe or Haaland, so that's a positive. Have just noticed here, Tchouaméni won it in 1 year in 2028, so shout out to Tchouaméni, who in this save game, oh my word, he is absolutely ridiculous. He has played at Real Madrid for his whole career, and he's played pretty well. I mean, that's the understatement of the year. Here is the overall all-seasons World Team of the Year. Tchouaméni has been stuck at centre attacking mid, which is bizarre. Mo Salah has retired from football. He actually retired at the age of 39. So, yeah, he played for a very, very long time at Liverpool. Elsewhere, Haaland, Mbappe, Declan Rice in a Liverpool shirt. That feels a little bit weird. They signed him for £91 million. Looks like he's been a pretty good signing for them over the years. You got players like Kimmich, Upamecano as well, Bayern Munich players. Benjamin Pavard in a Real Madrid shirt. That makes me feel uncomfortable. He's now chilling out in the UAE. I guess he's just secure in the bag. I say that, he's only on £52,000 a week. Got Theo Hernandez, Bastoni, Courtois in goal. Has Courtois retired yet? He has. He's become a goalkeeping coach. Can I sign him? He doesn't believe Guernsey are the standard of club he wants to work for. I mean, that hurts a little bit. Over on the bench, one player who has caught my eye is Gabriel Slonina. I know this man starts at Chelsea. He is an American player. You can see here, Bayern Munich signed him for £68 million. I assume he's the reason that the USA won a World Cup. So, yeah, if you want to put a bet on, in 4 years' time, this man's going to carry America to glory. Besides that, though, there's not too many massive surprises here. I guess Osimhen in a Liverpool shirt is a little bit weird. He was signed for £92 million. He's been a good player. I mean, he's not actually played that many league games. He's not played 38 games season on season. I don't know if that's by choice or due to injury. He's in the World Team of the Year, so he can't be that bad. Elsewhere, noticed Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. Rodrigo currently out injured, but yeah, tearing it up for Real Madrid. And Vinicius Jr. also still at Real Madrid. These two, I mean, they are just doing dirty, dirty things for Real Madrid. It's why they've won the league so many times in recent years, I guess. That and the fact they have got Tchouaméni. I mean, who is their actual striker through the middle? Their striker through the middle apparently is Hlozek. At least he's the man who's played most games. I mean, he's not that good. I thought they'd have someone better there. I've done some research. I mean, they've got Angelo as a backup striker who doesn't seem that good. I think Hlozek has actually been their striker. I suppose when you got Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo either side and Tchouaméni in behind, it doesn't really matter who you have as the striker. Sign me up, Real Madrid. I'm available. Just to wrap things up today, I thought we'd look at my manager profile. I did sign a new contract during this season. I don't think I mentioned that, but it did happen. I've got a contract to 2034. Might even be able to get another year on it. And given the fact I'm only getting £300 a week, probably should ask for a new one. In terms of my current coaching kind of qualification, it's a Continental C licence, so still can get 2 better. Reputation is up to 3 stars, so the world of football is starting to recognise me for my greatness. Obviously, you can see our actual attributes here, and if I just look at my history, I always like this screen as a little bit of an overview. 0 days spent on holiday, total value of players bought 1.5 million, total value of players sold 4.5 million. In the last 10 years, we've made £3 million in transfer profit. And obviously that doesn't include the agent fees, which maybe swing things slightly the other way. But there is no kidding. We have done a lot of wheeling and dealing to get to where we are right now. I think we're going to need to do more wheeling and dealing going into next season. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap up everything from me for this, the final episode of season number 10. We will be back on Monday with a transfer special. Get ready for it. Get it in your diary. Get the alarm set now. It will be a long weekend. I promise you it'll be worth the wait. I'll see you guys next time. It's me, Jack, and I'm out.